what it says. And we got Jess Hill again with us this week. All things.
Nope, we're good.
Yeah. Jess is having to do this from her phone because in the middle of this, of course, the computer decides to update.
Right.
So we'll let a couple people stream in before we kind of get into the subject of what we usually talk about, all things ecom.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you a couple, I guess, personal questions.
Sure. Yeah.
How's the? It's funny. Last week you're talking about Big Red, and that's what my son's nickname is.
That's funny.
Yeah, at the Y. So how was your car this week?
So luckily the van, it just had a bad wire going from the battery to the alternator. So I didn't have to replace either. So it was less than $100. But of course, thank God I have AAA because I had to get it towed last week. But good, my van is like, it's on its last leg. Like she's just worth the gas that's in her. So I was very happy that they got it resolved and less than $100. It was just the ground wire. I don't know. I just know that she works, and I was happy that it wasn't a fortune.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cars have been the enemy this year for me and stuff like that. But we got Florida Picker in the room and Stocks Unhinged right now. There's more people than that. Those are the people that are commenting. Now, people that are watching the show today, we do this for an hour. And if you guys have any questions, please post them in the chat. I will highlight them like this.
Hello. Hello.
Can you see that, Jess, on your end?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay.
Hi.
So it's a little harder for Jess to see stuff, and this is why I'll be highlighting because, again, she's working off the phone while her computer updates. Hey, Dave, how are you? Now, when you're doing, and before we kind of get into the game plan today, when you're doing all this Amazon stuff, how focused are you right now on eBay?
So eBay is typically my returns from Amazon. Like if I get clothing that don't have the tags on it, then they'll go on eBay, Mercari, or Poshmark. eBay is fastest in my opinion for my stuff. Of course, it has to do with your keywords, which is something I was going to touch on. And so, I mean, I'm on eBay. I am a top rated seller, but it's not like I don't work it every day. I do refresh and make sure I don't have any sales. I have some beauty, I have some beauty cross posted that is hazmat. I have it both on Amazon and eBay that I ship merchant fulfilled on Amazon, but also on eBay. So it's not a big part of my business, but I've been on eBay for 16 years. So it's not something I'm not familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one thing, and people been talking, I don't know what your opinion of it is to list often, meaning daily. Do you think that helps?
Yes, I believe that listing often and optimizing your listings with robust descriptions are the two biggest factors, and that's really any platform. So eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Mercari, Bonanza, Walmart, Jet, any of them. There's more. It just keeps your store algorithm refreshed. That's what I think, right? We don't really know. But then also if and keeping those good descriptions with lots of keywords, because really you're selling keywords, right? You're selling what people are searching for. When they can find your product easily, then they're going to buy it, right? So those are the two biggest things for any platform that you're selling on is keywords, and keep listing all the time. And even if it's not every day, at least every week, just to keep your stores bumped in the algorithm.
Yeah. I'll be honest, for the first time last night, this past week, that's the problem. What happens is people who are trying to create YouTube content, it sort of kind of becomes part of the of your time, and listing kind of goes on the back burner. And I think for me, what happens is I have the tendency that if things are a little bit slow, you kind of you don't kind of have that drive to list things, but realizing that, how are you going to sell it if it's not listed? So last night I was proud of myself. For the first time in 3 weeks, I listed probably 6 or 7 things, but with multiples. So about 22, 24 things. I've been noticing I don't know if you, I mean, for you, maybe it's unlimited, but I've been noticing that on eBay, they've been upping the limits. So as you keep selling more, I remember years ago that wasn't an issue, but you used to have to apply and for, but I mean, I'm at a point right now between 2 stores, I can list $80,000 worth of stuff if I
Nice.
wanted to.
Right.
Doesn't mean I have $80,000 worth of stuff to list. That's a lot of,
That's a lot.
yeah, that's a lot of stuff, especially at $25 items. That is a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
people are starting to, there's some people starting to come in now. I do appreciate everyone that's watching. You know, what we're getting, Jess, is a lot, about 40% of the views that we're getting on these, people are coming back to watch on the replay. So I appreciate that. Every day, there's probably about 5 to 10 people that are watching this every day. So I could tell by the YouTube analytics, that the reports that I get. So that's a good thing. So,
can I give you a little feedback on your listing? So, you know, I coach a lot. Like I coached for 4 hours yesterday. I'm coaching for 4 hours tomorrow. So my feedback for you to keep that motivation, because I'm highly motivated. Like I wake up in the morning, I get all my kids to school and I work, right? So I would definitely set some goals, your weekly goals around how many listings, because if that's your bread and butter, we need to keep it going, right? So when I'm talking to my mentoring clients, I always have them give me a goal. Like they will list 10 things a week. And then you're accountable. So I'm happy to be I think we're all happy to be accountable for each other. And that's why we're in this space together, right? So I am proud of you for listing last night. And I bet your store is going to get some more visibility.
Yeah, and I'm gonna what I did too last night, and part of it has to do with just life and setup. You know, one of the things I do is I am a property manager, so that pays pretty much my my monthly mortgage that I need to pay here, and kind of dealing with my son graduating and stuff like that. But again, I have these stores, and I bought all the. What has happened is the money that I've made this year from doing Amazon and eBay, I've tied it up into more inventory that, frankly, a lot of it's, you know, it can't sell if it's not listed. So my goal is really I'm going to Nashville next week for a meet and greet, a reseller.
That's so close.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this. Yeah, that's so close to me. It's only 6 hours.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be actually swinging through Missouri on the way back just to see a buddy of mine at Nevermore Antiques. So that's the game plan. But I did take more pictures last night, and I'm really my goal is to get like 10 listings a day before I go. So I'm gonna try to get really 70 or 80 you know, things listed before I get out there. And don't forget, some stuff I do have multiples, but yeah. Now there is a question there. What I highlighted, and again, I'm highlighting your questions for Jess because she is on a mobile device, so it's a little harder for her. She can't have 2 screens open up. So this is what we're doing, and this is working out just fine.
So, do you recommend using a listing service at $1.50 per listing? So this would be dependent on what your business model needs. So if you're, you know, if you're selling a lot and maybe your items are more expensive, for me, I wouldn't be doing that because it is beauty and it's not very expensive. But if that service is worth $1.50, so for me, I would try it, right? If you're needing someone to help you, then you can always try it. Try it with 10 or so, and just see if it's worth it. Yeah. So, because it is your time, right? And when you can pay someone else to do something for you, you get more time. Hello, back. So I think, some people will use a listing service. I don't use a listing service because I'm not working the eBay business as much as other sellers, especially, you know, Pat's followers. So it just would be dependent on your business model and if that's something you need. Or could you hire someone for $10 an hour to come in 3 times a week and list, you know, 10 things? I don't know. But definitely outsourcing when you're scaling your business, you wanna calculate the risk and reward. So there's no one right answer, right?
Yeah, it's more. He's saying that Florida Picker is saying it's leftovers and returns. Yeah. So more and more people are coming by. This is what happens is people get notification. I made up these thumbnails like 2 weeks in advance, and what happens is I think they get lost. So I have to figure out the setting on how to do that where people kind of get a half an hour. Now I'm going to highlight something that Chris says, and I'll give you a little background information on Chris. Listing surface for him has helped me scale across multiple platforms. He works for a healthcare company full time, and then he buys liquidation products and stuff from ASD and stuff like that. Yeah. And again, I'm highlighting some of these things because and he's saying it allows him to focus on FBA. So now the people that are following me have one good thing about them being resellers is they're selling on all the platforms that you mentioned. I mean, there are some people that specialize just in Amazon. There's some people that specialize in just, Grimes Finds, he's Justin, he's from Texas. He is selling also live auctions. And I think he sells at an auction house. I think he's a licensed auctioneer down there that he even sells there. So, that's one thing. Lots of diversity. Yeah, lots of diversification as far. Hey, which reminds me, I got that Instagram post of you're competing with me now on a scrap video. I saw that.
So, we could talk about. So my husband has been scrapping forever. We've been together for 4.5 years, and so he's been scrapping. He's been in HVAC for like 20 years, right? And so I never really thought about it, right, as one of our streams that I need to put on our whiteboard until you did that. And I was like, oh, Pat, oh my gosh, my husband, so we were waiting because he had a broken hand, but he had so at his job, he's allowed to take the old units, air conditioning units, so he breaks it down, the brass, the copper 1, the copper 2, whatever. But he broke his hand. He was out for 2 months. He could not break it down. So he took not this weekend, the last weekend, and just broke it all down, And I was like, Matt, you have to give me some pictures because Pat is a scrapper. And then that joins us together. We're both scrappers, different communities, It's definitely not a competition. I support you. I think it's really cool as long as people are doing it legit, right? So when I moved into my house 10 years ago, we didn't think it was foreclosure. We didn't think to have the air conditioning was running, but there were no coils in it. Someone had stolen the coil. So don't do that. Be a scrapper, but do it, do it right. My husband was like, wait, you want me to take pictures of my boxes? I'm like, yeah, and your receipt, this is exciting. So my husband was really excited because he doesn't do all this online stuff. I was like, everybody is looking and liking your post about the scraps. He's like, okay.
See, the student is showing the teacher something.
Right. Absolutely.
I was thinking when I swung through Missouri, I might go sourcing and cut out a couple pipes in some of the houses that I know.
Right. So it was cool.
Quick, before we get into some of the agenda today, just say hi real quick as more people are in here. We got Dave that came in and Greg. Chris, thank you for stopping. Kimmy is here. As everyone knows, Kimmy does the Thursday Night Live show with me. And Justin from Grimes Finds is in here. Now, these are just the people that are commenting. Chris the Goose, he's from Texas also. He's in here. Big difference between a scrapper and a thief.
Right. Definitely. Do it legit. The good thing about this job is he gets to take all of it. Like the previous job, he only got to do half. So that was cool.
And Boatman, hi from Ohio.
Hello.
Thank you for stopping. Yeah, I have my wrenches in here. So if we get, any kind of misbehavior, which we typically don't, they'll control that. That's the only thing on StreamYard in the back end. I wish there was a way that we can't, if there was a way that we could delete a comment as the host, but we can't, but there hasn't been none of those issues. But So what's on the agenda today?
So I think, everybody, when I'm on all the different social media platforms, I do my reminders, right? So right now, everybody is, it's all platforms, right? Really. So everybody is in back to school mode. So if you're not doing back to school, maybe this is your first season on e-commerce for back to school. A lot of people sell back to school bundles. You can sell them on all the platforms. Well, I would say Amazon, eBay, and Mercari. So that's what we're hitting right now until about September 5th, 10th to the 15th-ish, because, all the kids are going back to school. We want to make it easy for our customers, so we sell back to school bundles. And so for me, I always talk about, retail arbitrage, because I'm an arbitrager, online arbitrage. So when you're watching our videos, you can ask me all kinds of questions about those. I have classes that start next week. You can see on my website, and I'm giving Pat the affiliate links for that. But yeah, so if we want to talk about retail arbitrage, if we want to talk about what's hot right now, so everything back to school, and then everything that is like swim diapers, sunscreen, all of that clearance stuff, it still sells throughout the end of the year. So I am filling my carts with backpacks, lunch boxes, back to school stuff, pens, pencils, crayons, erasers, all that, all that jazz. If you don't have small children or children in elementary school, you can usually go to Walmart and they have the slip that says what your local school needs. And that's how you build a bundle. So if you have never done that before and you're interested in learning that, that's how I do it. I either go to the kids' website or I go to Walmart and I pick up one of those lists that says first grade, and I just start buying all the stuff and I make a bundle out of it. And so one of my hot tips that I do is I actually have a bundle where it's some items from Walmart and some items from Target, so less people can get on my bundle. So that's like one of my secret tips that I do for my own store. That way it's harder for others to jump on my bundle, so I can control the buy box if you're talking to Amazon. And then I am going to be buying all of the like swim diapers and all of the sunscreen, all of it, because, well, I can sell hazardous materials via retail or via FBA. So I'm getting all those spray sunscreens that don't expire until late next year. So those are the things that I've been touching on, like with my group and my followers. And then if we wanted to, we could talk about retail arbitrage. We could talk about how to source in various categories. That's something I like to help teach people. Or we could, whatever you guys want. Otherwise, I can just start talking about the various.
I have a quick question now.
Yeah.
What do you mean by hazardous materials?
Sure.
And when you can't just send them in any old way, or?
Right. So Amazon has a hazmat program for FBA sellers where if you get approved, you can send in things like hairspray, spray deodorant, spray, the dry shampoo, nail polish, acetone to remove, nail polish removers, those kinds of things, hand sanitizer, those kinds of things that are hazmat, right? You have to ship them ground. And so I am approved. So actually my prepper is actually prepping today some spray sunscreen, some of the spray, my kids use it. A lot of people use it. And right now it's super cheap, but it doesn't expire until 2021. So it's got plenty of shelf life. And then we prep it as far as like, bubble wrapping or boxing it, and then label it just like a regular FBA item. But then when you ship it, you need to, Amazon's only going to give you the FBA label that checks it in. It's not giving you access to the UPS website. You need to go to the UPS website and create a ground shipment. And then I have the little black and white labels that you put on either side, opposite sides of the box. And then the box itself needs to have the up arrows so that, your carrier, UPS, will ship it correctly, not upside down where things could start spraying or start, potentially have more likelihood to catch fire or whatever. It needs to be upright. So I do have a hazmat video on my YouTube channel walking you through that. And then all you have to do is just go on your UPS website. I have a UPS account, but even if you don't, you can print a ground shipping label. So the thing with hazmat is since you're not getting the carrier shipping discount because you have to go off of Amazon to create the shipping label, you need to think about that when you're buying the hazmat. You don't want to just buy one or two hazmat items. You want to be able to fill a box because you're going to pay a little bit more for shipping since you have to go on the carrier website and you don't get the Amazon discount. But the great thing about hazmat and being hazmat approved is not everybody's doing it. So when you're the only one selling that hairspray, you can charge a little bit more, and then that takes in account that additional shipping charge.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I want to maximize my hazmat storage because there's way less FBA sellers in the hazmat category because they just don't want to mess with it. So that's why I'm like, if you have hazmat approval, you should optimize it because you could be making all that money that people are missing out on.
Now, are they sending, do you know that hazmat stuff, does that go to all the warehouse or are they select warehouses?
It's select hazardous warehouses. So for me, it's still going to Chicago, but it's not MDW2. It's a different warehouse.
Okay. Yeah, I saw earlier this year on the news how someone had bear spray and it went off and they had to evacuate the warehouse because someone had triggered the bear spray.
Right.
That must have been a hazmat warehouse to have bear spray.
Yes, or I don't really know all the back end stories about it, but I mean things like like people will send in like energy drinks. Those things can explode too because they're in a compressed, in a can. So I mean, you have to remember that all of the Amazon warehouses have thousands of products, so the risk is kind of high that things like that will happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely saw that story too.
And what was the next item that we were?
So we can talk about the retail arbitrage various categories I was going to touch on. So if you wanted, I always like when I'm doing the interviews with you, I always think of like what I teach my mentoring, since I'm kind of like I'm teaching you and teaching our followers about it. So for me, when I'm teaching a new mentoring client, maybe they're like 6 months in, they're brand new. One of the things I always tell them about is grocery, because grocery is kind of like the fast food of Amazon. And so you can, if you have a low amount of capital, you can actually generate more capital in the grocery category because it sells faster. So when you're a new seller, when you're thinking about, well, what categories should I dive into first so I can up all of that capital, I always say grocery is a great place to start. Books, obviously, because the return on investment is good. And then toys, right, for Q4. So right now, all of the toys from last season are being clearanced out in your stores. So you're going to still want to hit those. And that's for every platform, right? Because like you can find some discounted Legos from last season and you can flip those on eBay for sure.
Yeah.
And, you can probably flip them even on Facebook Marketplace, because Legos are a hot brand. Like all the kids, even adults play Legos, right? So if you want it, we could talk about, so grocery, the only thing you really need to take into account is the expiration dates and put those, make sure you have those expiration dates, 36 font on your label for Amazon. They request that you have the 36, well, it's required by TOS, but 36 font so that when they're picking and pulling, they can see that expiration date real quickly. And then the other hot tip for grocery is, two or three more things, is always look into international foods. So if you are in a metropolitan area, you have an Asian food market, you have a Latin food market, you have Indian food market, you have any kind of ethnic food markets, you can find items for Amazon, items for eBay to sell. And then what I also say is I like grocery because you can find your replens or replenishable items. And so that's something that I always encourage my followers and the people that I teach, is to find things that you can sell on a consistent basis to build that capital, that baseline business. And then when you're in grocery and you see something with a really great rank, if you're talking Amazon, if it sells really quickly as a single, and there's no 2-pack, there's no 3-pack, there's no 4-pack, that's when you make your own listing with the multi-pack, and then that can up your replen. So you might have, your replen list might have one product, but it has 3 or 4 listings because you're selling it as a single, as a 2-pack, as a 3-pack. And then, you know, then you are generating capital for the future, and then it helps you grow your business. Yeah. So if you wanted, like, we could talk about that. And then, so grocery.
I just sold out of one of my grocery. You know, I was a little frustrated because when I first did an experiment, I went and bought the product, 10 of them, and sent them in. Sold them in like 2 weeks. I was happy. What do? Yeah. I went out and bought like 30 of them, and there they sat for about 3 weeks, and then people were dropping the price.
Right.
And finally, I did drop the price some. I didn't make quite as much. I mean, I didn't lose money, but I still made money. And then, but now all of a sudden, the last like week, I'm sold out of them again, and I don't even know if I can get them again. I don't know if it was a specialty item that was brought into the store, you know, put on an end cap to try it out. But I have to go back to the. It was a meltable, which I was kind of surprised, to be honest, that you know, in the middle of August, that it wasn't. I was concerned with that too. After me and you talked, you brought up meltables on the show. That I didn't kind of get burnt with them being melted or something, you know.
You got lucky. So, yeah, you should not be sending meltables or having meltables in the warehouses until October 1st. So that's when I'm talking grocery. Meltable season is amazing, right? So it always starts with Halloween, and meltables are not just in grocery. Like, I sell a ton of like gummy vitamins, right? So gummy vitamins are huge. They're huge in my house because they're easy, right? And everybody likes a gummy. But I sell a lot of gummy vitamins, but you have to. So for me, I pull them in April. I sell them merchant fulfilled in the summer with an ice pack. I get the ice packs for free from my veterinary office. Did you know you could do that? Hot tip. You can call any vet, really, because they get all their like rabies supplies and stuff. And then I wipe them down. I polybag the I get notifications on my phone. I polybag the cold pack so that it doesn't, well, I don't know, it might still sweat, but I feel like if I polybag it just with the, you know, and then I pack it with my my gummy vitamins, and then I wrap it really good with like a, you know, bubble wrap, but I have like the bigger bubble wrap, not the little ones. And then I tape it really good. And that's kind of like a little insulator, like a little pouch. And then I put it in a box, and then I tape all the seams of the box so the hot air doesn't get in. And it's worked. I've actually not had, knock on wood, any complaints for my supplements. And the great thing, because they're not being sold prime because they're meltables, and I keep the buy box. I bought them for like $6 on a drugstore website. I'm not going to give you my supplier, but you can do your own research. And I bought them, it was a buy one get one free sale, so it was really cheap. It ended up being $6 a piece. I'm selling them for $21 plus shipping, so it's around $29 after the shipping. So I'm making a good amount of money. If you've never done meltables, call your vet office, get, you know, 10 or so ice packs just to try it, and gather a few nondescript, clean, nice and new boxes, and then find yourself some meltable gummies and sell them in the summer, because people are still buying them for their kids. For me, for sure, that's what I'm selling. And it's super lucrative. So that's like a good tip for grocery. So meltables still sell in the summer. You just can't sell them via FBA. You need to sell them merchant fulfilled. So I'm glad that you didn't get burned on that.
No, they were actually, it was chocolate covered peanuts. But I mean, that was the best. That's the most item that I sold. I think I sold 40 units in the last, you know, and for just being new, I was looking at, actually the last week. I don't know what's been going on, but stuff for me has been moving. I kind of went through a period there in July for about 10 days. I didn't sell nothing. nothing. And now every day it's exciting to kind of look and something's being, and I mean, the one day I sold 8 units, 9 units actually. And it was exciting. I think that was the busiest day I had as far as multiples of something. And that's weird how that happens sometimes.
Well, do you want to talk about that? So July is the slowest month of the year. So I am absolutely not surprised that you had a week or 10 days that were just bottomed out. Everybody had those days across the board because people are not shopping online. They're outside, they're on vacation, they're with their families, they're swimming. They don't want to do, chocolate covered peanuts are rough when they melt, but then it's like a candy bar, right? So you're not alone. And now that it is back to school season, it's not just back to school items that sell, it's like everything sells. So we are ramping up to Q4. So that's why. That's the main reasons why.
I like to eventually get into something where we have a local chocolate factory that but sometimes Chris is telling here. I'll highlight it.
Here. Oh yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. So don't you get a bunch of dings on your account, especially if you get so. Chris is saying the repercussions for sending multiples out of the multiple season. For one, I don't know how they didn't get flagged because if it's chocolate covered, it probably says chocolate covered in the title.
Yeah,
right?
It does. And it's not a listing that I created.
I wonder if they're miscategorized somehow. But you can get in big trouble.
Yeah, or the coding is so light that it, I don't know. But I sold 30 of them in the past like 3. I'm sold out now. So and that's why I want to ask you too, because what I'm doing is, like you said, I'm going to wait now till October to send them in again because I got lucky. Now there was somebody. I was looking at my feedback last night. There was somebody that requested a refund in July, and because I never heard nothing, it said respond to them. So I clicked on Amazon. And Amazon actually took it away because they didn't do it the proper way. I don't know I guess I don't know if they're supposed to contact Amazon because it's an FBA product, but Amazon sided with me and removed that, negative feedback as far as that. That was the only one I got. Yeah.
So it was on your seller feedback and it was about the shipping probably. So that's why Amazon removed it.
Yeah.
But if it was product feedback that they can do a couple different things. If something happens with multiples, they can put it on the product. They can ask for a refund, and then if you're shipping multiples, you'll get dings on your metrics. But hopefully none of that happens. I don't want to put that in the universe. Right. But now multiple season October 1st through April 30th.
When you brought it up, I think it was on the last show or the first show. I was like, oh, I didn't. And I mean, I know that chocolates aren't the best, and I didn't even think about it. And then when you brought up about multiples, and they didn't say anything, I was like, wow. But I am excited about selling those things because with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, and then really Easter still kind of rolls into where in our area it's still pretty cold.
Valentine's Day.
Right, even Valentine's Day, right. So
don't forget Valentine's Day, but don't forget the 15th, the day after, when you buy all the Valentine's candy that has been discounted. And then like me, your March numbers will be insane. I'm just letting you know what you're going to do next year.
All right.
My March numbers were insane this year because I capitalized on the clearance Valentine's candy at all the stores in the St. Louis area. So you're welcome. I hope none of you live in St. Louis because I'm just kidding. So multiples, I'm fine with you sending in right at the very end of September for October because that's when it just explodes. So at the end of September 15th, after back to school is over, then September 15th through the 30th, you're going to be researching all of your multiples for Halloween. And if you can find, this is what I do. if you can find really great sellers, really great ranks, but then you make the 2-pack, the 3-pack, the 4-pack, you make a bundle of 2 like items. Maybe you have 2 different flavors of Starburst or Skittles, or maybe they have the white chocolate and the dark, or the white chocolate and the milk chocolate Reese's. Like, these are things that you can be making bundles that, mid-September, maybe start merchant fulfilling them, and then October 1st, boom, send them all to the warehouse and sell them for Halloween. Maybe you could couple that with a Halloween basket. Like, there's so many things that you can do with Meltable season. Like, I love Meltables in the grocery category. I love. So that's what I do. Okay, do you want me to just keep? So other categories in retail arbitrage, toys. I mentioned we're going to be buying all of the toys that are on clearance right now. And then the other category that I'm heavy in beauty, and beauty, you have to have topicals. So if you don't have topicals, that would be something that you can try to get auto-ungated in 6 months after your metrics are good. And then clothing, like I sell a ton. I think a lot of people know I sell a ton of bras. So I do Arbitrage. Have you heard of that?
I made a video on Arbitrage from Walmart.
You did? I need to watch it.
And I titled it that.
Oh, good. So because bras are light, there's a lot of women in the country. We all need them. And they're, you can get them for a good price. You can get a good return on investment. So that's one of my favorite things to sell is bras. And I sell, like, a lot of people will only sell, white, black, and nude. Those are the 3 colors that are like the main colors. But I sell all the colors. But so yeah, those are the things that I like when I'm thinking about what I'm going to source on any given day. So today I'm probably going to go to either Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Those are my favorite stores, right? Besides Kohl's. I don't have a 30% off coupon, so I'm not going to Kohl's today. And those are the things I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to look for grocery that's not meltable, that's not expired, and I'm going to look for bras and activewear and slippers. Slippers sell all year long, even though, like, I don't wear them because I get really hot. But a lot of people like slippers. It's one of the things that I always look for. And then obviously back to school, backpacks, lunch boxes, socks, underwear, undergarments, all of that. So you just learned a new word. I know. So I don't know. I learned it a couple years ago from Chris Anderson. He's a big Amazon seller, and he teaches a Arbitrage course, because like there are certain sizes that sell better than others, but I buy all the sizes. I buy all the colors. Obviously, I'm using my, Scoutify app to source for Amazon, so it tells me the ranks and stuff. But I mean, the larger sizes, definitely you can sell for a higher markup because it's hard to find, and it's unfortunate that you can make so much money. But just like shoes, you can sell the larger sizes for a higher markup when you're not in the shoe, like 9, I think it's 7 to 11 for women, and then 9 to 12 for men are the main shoe sizes. But if you got a 13, you can mark it up another $10 because anyone that's wearing a 13 will actually pay more because it's hard to find. Look at all these nuggets I'm giving you.
It's funny because how I came watching YouTube is how I came across Shane Rise and Grind Picture that I'm friends with. He had posted a video of exactly going into Walmart, and so I said, "Oh, I'm going to do it." And I was going in there and I was finding them for $1 to $3, and they were selling for like 13 on Amazon and stuff. I think I still have a couple. I think I might have bought 40 or so at that time. I still think I have a couple, but they were easy to ship in. You didn't have to worry about them breaking or stuff like that. So Adam is asking, Jess, you said that nude and black are the best colors?
Nude, black, and white. Those are the standard colors. If I'm going to go buy a bra on any given day, those are the 3 colors I'm going to look for. Like a bright purple or like an orange, like their specialty occasion, like because you don't want to wear a white shirt with an orange bra underneath. I'll still sell like pink and purple and all that. But if you're newer and you, dropping nugget bombs, if you're a newer seller, you'll probably want to stick to those colors just because they'll turn faster. And then once you grow, you can take a little bit more risk on the colors that you choose just because you don't want them to sit, right? So I'm wondering what color those bras are that are sitting in your in your inventory. Pat, are they purple? I'm just kidding. You're like,
I don't know.
Jess.
I'll be honest. I'm blushing from all this bra conversation. We went from candies to bras.
Money.
What is the next best category?
The next, so I mentioned beauty, and if you guys have questions about beauty, I'm happy to answer them. So I've been selling beauty for 2 years, tons of it. The only things that I don't send to Amazon anymore, because no matter how good I package them, I bubble them, they always get broken, are eyeshadow palettes and like bronzers and blushes and illuminators, because I just ship them merchant fulfilled, and I have my own pretty little, bubble envelope. Makeup, lots of makeup. I sell skincare, lots of skincare, and sunscreen is in the beauty category. Topicals, right? And then hair products. So I'm a huge, and I don't even wear a lot of stuff. I just, wear the basics, but there's so much money to be made in the beauty and cosmetics category. And the one thing that I have found is when a brand is discontinuing their previous season's stuff, you're gonna grab the discontinued items because people, will latch on to that item. They just love it. And then once it's discontinued, you can sell it for even more because they're looking for it. So if there's specialty hair frizz products that maybe they are no longer going to sell it, and you can go to Walgreens and pick them all up and sell them for more because they're discontinued. So those are things. Yes, eBay, you can sell makeup, not skincare, on Poshmark. You can sell makeup on Amazon and Mercari. I do a ton on Mercari. That's basically all it is beauty on Mercari, because if I have overstock, maybe I overpurchased, or maybe I get samples. Maybe I'm at a website, I do online arbitrage, and then I get some samples or I get some freebies. I'll throw those on Mercari. They sell within a couple days, or maybe not even a day. And that's all keywords, right? It's all keywords when you're selling. So no matter what platform, I'm just going to keep reminding you, keywords. So I love beauty. I love cosmetics. I love topicals because they're in abundance. If you work your drugstore, if you learn how to coupon, if you learn how to follow the ad scans for your local, like Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, drugstores, you can make a lot of money in that if you're ungated in topicals. So how do you know when something is discontinued? So either you can follow their website. So for me, I have a couple of brands that they'll say retired, right? Or discontinued. I mean, Bath and Body Works does it all every year. They bring back the discontinued items, and then you go and buy them all because they're going to retire them again, and then you sell them. So it would be a matter of following the website, the supplier, or the brand. So you need to, if you can be abreast of that, then that's great. So, I mean, there's a lot to follow. So for me, I just follow the brands that I know I can sell, and then I'll find out what's being discontinued because they're going to be starting new products. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. So that's, so I'm not going to talk about bras anymore because I'm making Pat uncomfortable. I can tell you that one of the high school students that I hired, he did not want to take the stickers off the bras from Kohl's. And I was like, well, this is not the job for you. So grocery, clothing, toys, beauty, those are my big four categories that I sell on eBay. What else do you want to talk about?
Now, good morning, Lynn. Thanks for coming in. Myra gives a perfect example of the gluten-free red velvet cake was discontinued. One thing I don't understand, and you brought up about the makeup, is why would they discontinue something that is selling? Um,
Because
I worry personally that I would buy the stuff and it would just be a repackaging thing, and then I get stuck with all this stuff, and people are then going to buy the repackaged same item. You know what I'm saying?
well, it's just like when McDonald's brings the McRib back, right? Because they want to generate that talk. And then also they like for brands to discontinue. I mean, there's a lot of reasons behind it. Maybe it wasn't a really good seller. Thank you, Kim. But there are still people loyal. So let's talk about like if it's a lipstick, if it's a certain, like maybe it's like a brownish, reddish lipstick, they're going to discontinue that color because it's not in their top 10. But then you still have loyal customers that love that color. So it's not necessarily that it's a good seller. It might not be on that brand's top 10 or whatever they are, for their metrics, but you'll still have loyal people to that specific color.
Yeah.
So then that's when, or that specific hair product, or that specific sandwich, right? And that's when they bring it back. That's when Bath and Body Works brings it back for a limited time, because it'll not only get the loyal customers to that product, but they'll come in the store and they'll buy other products. And that's why they do that switch, bait and switch, right? I'm waiting for Wendy's to bring back sweet potato fries. Same, hashtag same, me too. So that's why, but it's when you can jump in and get some of those. But yeah, anything gluten-free that goes discontinued, I buy because we're gluten-free. So I get it.
I had saw there was another YouTuber, a young lady, I can't think of her name, but when I was doing YouTube even a couple months back, she was going into a retailer, not a huge retailer, not a Walmart scale, more of a smaller one, and she was actually getting told they banned her from the store because she was basically buying everything out, and they told her not to come back. Yeah, so
that's silly, but it happens.
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, how much YouTube, but yeah, I'll have to kind of share. But she was really heavy into makeup and knowing the discounted and discontinued things and knowing how to maximize that. So now we're approaching lunch, so they're talking about lunch right now.
They're like, I need a McRib and I need some sweet potato fries. No, I get it. So that's what, those are some hot tips on, the various categories that I sell in. And, we can all share, hot tips about what has worked for us. That way, the newer sellers can come in and they won't be, making this, they'll have a purpose, like where they need to go. I have a friend in Iceland that buys online for GM, Monster. Yes. So they had the strawberry Rice Krispies sold really good for me. Those pink ones. I bought some for our family. My kids love them. So then I was like, I bet Amazon loves them. And then, they have all they have like unicorns, they have monsters, they have all these things. So I am not surprised that they buy and sell in Iceland.
Now, are you doing, and that brought up a question I have for you, Jess, are you doing international Amazon sales yet?
Right. So last year I did learn the UK, but there's like a lot of things that go into it. I learned it so I could teach others. So I don't sell there anymore because each box was $65 to send to Europe. So I had to pack the box up to 12 pounds. And then I just sold a bunch of my beauty overstock that I had over purchased. It did work. I did sell all the stuff, but then you have to pay the VAT tax. And for me, I used First Choice Shipping, and they did all that for me, but it was $200 a quarter. So you have to put in that amount of money, and then like your products have to make up for that. So I know that people do sell in the UK and other areas with success, but my volume for that other wasn't enough to cover all those fees.
Right. Yeah, I keep getting that alert. like one of the things I sell merchant fulfilled is super glue. And when I was looking at it this morning before we went live, it said that was an opportunity, but I didn't click on it because I'll be honest, for myself, I got to get this right over here in the USA before I try to expand overseas. And I don't even look at it. And that's one of the things I want to talk to you about in the future is understanding that number that they assign you with the color bar. On how
the IPI score, yeah,
and how to improve that and stuff. So maybe in a future episode, we can kind of talk about that for people who are doing reselling. I mean, I'm really looking to next year and basically triple or quadruple what I'm averaging right now, about $800 to $1,000 a month in sales. Don't forget, I just started. Actually, I looked at it last night. I started in February. I mean, out of that, I'm making around $250 a month selling on, Amazon, and really with little effort. Now, when I say that, people say, "Well, why are you not putting much effort?" For me, it's a capital that I'll have right now to, tie in to do it. But in all honesty, if I can get to a point where I make $15,000, $20,000, and I really think that's attainable by just running the stuff that I sold the last 2 weeks. I've been making good returns on. So, I mean, I really think if I sold $60,000, $70,000 worth of stuff a year, I could. That $15,000, $20,000 goal is definitely attainable.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's okay to grow slowly. It's okay. It's not a race, right? And everybody has their own pace that they do things, and you're reinvesting and you're building and you're reinvesting and you're building, and that will take you to your goals, help you meet your goals that you want to do. And then, in a year or so, you'll be trucking along. So, that's what I always learning how to do it right will help you not make mistakes that are costly. I'm
not sure what this means, but I'm going to highlight it.
Is Rivers doing velocity? I don't know the answer to that, Chris. Okay. I don't know what the River is.
Maybe it's a company.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it must be a company.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
you can find me on Facebook, or you can email me at ladiesofFBA@gmail.com.
and you're on Instagram too, right?
Instagram, Ladies of FBA, ladies_of_FBA.
Right.
Yep, I'm all over the place.
Right. So I don't know that too, Chris, and this is why we're doing this show, to kind of teach people. And we got over 20 people in here right now. So what happened was the notifications kind of came out, and again, I think what I'm going to do is make what I try to do is stay ahead of it. But the thumbnail, because the way they're uploaded, they kind of get lost, so they stay more in the notifications when you do it like 2 or 3 days. So what'll happen is, as we do the show on Wednesdays, I'll probably do it on Monday. Here, I'm going to highlight again, and I like to do this, and it is a little distraction for the guest, like Jess, because she gets that and she has to, and I try to keep her on her thought process, so I apologize about that. But it's to get people. He said, I want to make $600 this year, and $600. I don't want to pay taxes.
So I would consult your CPA. I'm going to refer all tax questions to your CPA because I'm not a tax professional. But I understand that people have situations where they want to stay under a certain threshold, and that's perfectly fine. For any platform, I would say consult a CPA.
Right, and that's only $12 a week. I mean, that's definitely doable. Maybe they have a situation where it affects their Social Security or their health and stuff like that. Right. That should. Chris basically is saying that the River, he is clarifying that it's Amazon, aka the River. So
I've never heard it called that. So now I learned something new. Velocity reviews. Yeah. For your IPI score. I don't know what he's referencing, what the topic was.
Yeah, for velocity, velocity reviews, yep.
I mean, I think they do velocity reviews on your account and give you your storage limits, right? I
Now
don't know.
my score, like, and that's one thing I don't understand is my score went up 8 points this past week. I don't know why.
Did you send stuff in?
No. Two things I did was I sold more items, and I recalled 2 weeks ago dead stuff that, dead stock. I call it.
Yeah, and then before you do any more of the dead stock, make sure that you're adding keywords into the search terms. I have a tool, it's called Easy Key, but as for new sellers, you're going to go into the search terms. You don't have to open a case to edit your listing, and it can be a retail arbitrage listing, and you add your keywords into search terms, and that will help boost. I mean, if you did that with all of your listings, you would get more sales.
And that's something I got to learn because I don't know nothing about it. What I do, in all honesty, and this is why I'm doing this show with you, to learn myself and educate other people. I go on my Amazon seller app, scan it, and it says send it in. I send it in. I box it up and send it in. I don't know nothing about keywords because I worry that I would screw something up, or it'd be sitting in the warehouse there because I entered a word that I wasn't supposed to enter.
Okay, we can talk about that. If you want, we can talk about keywords and IPI next week.
Sure.
Okay, boom, we did it. I'll get some screenshots and I'll put that together for us because I think a lot of people need to learn about that. Both of those are kind of like, what? Those are what topics? Absolutely.
Okay, and we're going to highlight, we're down to the last 4 minutes. I'm going to highlight this last question from Chris.
There used to be holds on some accounts because of too much of an increase in sales. I didn't know if they were still looking at those. So I do think that they review accounts when they have a really big jump in sales because they might be doing something wrong. Like it might be a Chinese reseller that is doing something shady. They will absolutely review your account. But if you're doing your due diligence and you're just sending in inventory, maybe you got a loan and now you can send in more, that's going to be fine. But if you're doing stuff that's shady, then you're going to get suspended.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're getting down to the last 2 minutes. I want you to just basically go over real quick. I don't think we did that in the beginning because we were playing around with the phone. Remind people who you are, where you sell, and where they can find you, and what's going on as far as I know. You have, I see on Instagram your little car videos sometimes. Is that the only place that I can usually find you?
Okay, so Jessica Hill, Ladies of FBA. I have my Facebook group, Ladies of FBA, Facebook page, Jessica Hill, Ladies of FBA, Instagram, Ladies of FBA, Twitter, Ladies of FBA, YouTube, Ladies of FBA, and Gmail. You can ladiesofFBA@gmail.com. You can email me your questions. So you can find me all over the interwebs. And thank you, Adam. I have been a full-time reseller since March of 2016, 95% on Amazon, but I've been on e-commerce since 2003, really 1999 if you count me helping my mom. So I really appreciate Pat and taking the time out on your Wednesday, and I appreciate everybody that's commenting and following and watching and tuning in. So subscribe to Pat's channel if you haven't. You can jump over to Ladies of FBA on YouTube and subscribe there for more awesome content. And then, yeah, just keep going. Happy selling.
And I'm Patdees, as everybody knows, and I sell on eBay and Amazon. And this is I'm learning more through Jess how to do Amazon much better. And that's one of the things that I talked about was is I'm not taking $5,000 and dumping in and then having a $3,000 mistake. What I've been doing is, like you said, about going at my own pace, because I'll be honest, I've only lost maybe $200 or $300 on a couple things like in the beginning, and now I'm making money, and that's the important part. You could talk about all the sales you want, but if you're basically just turning over money and not making money. You know, for me, making the money is the important part.
Right.
I'm not doing this for fun. So you guys
Right.
I upload videos every week. I've been a little bit lax the last couple of days because I'm trying to catch up on listings. Tomorrow I'm going to actually go with some other big YouTube channels, and we're going to storage auction, and tomorrow night with the show with Kimberly on her channel, Borderline Hoarderish, and I'll put the link up up here in the corner, the iCard they call it. DG Picker, he's a penny shopper, and you know, he'll be our guest. And then Saturday nights I do the Late Show with Eric and Jason. Eric and Jason were at an auction last week, so they'll be back. But again, I thank everyone for watching. Like I said, about 40% of the views I think we got close to 200 views, and I appreciate that. If you guys are watching these last couple minutes, I want you guys to comment below after the video, and next week when we come back, I will do a random drawing thing, and whoever comments in the comments below will get a $5 gift card for Amazon.
Awesome.
So that's important too. You got to comment. So the following week, you'll see me. I'll pull it up, and it'll be let the computer will pick it, and just leave a comment. Something simple is like, hey, thanks for the Amazon information, or if you got a question, you know, please do that. I want people sometimes to even, you know, watch or listen in the background as you learn or as you're doing stuff. So I thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again next week with Jess Hill, and you guys have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you.